Situation on the quagmire in Nairobi County. What next? A lot of legal issues that we are trying to converse here with the lawyers with me on the panel. Peter Wanyama, I left it at a point where you needed to respond to Martin Olo on the responsibilities of the acting governor. What can he do? What can't he do? Martin Olo argues that perhaps he would be able to appoint the deputy governor as governor before he heads back to becoming speaker. How do you look at this?
I think I need to be very clear on this issue because there is no doubt whatsoever.
Please do.
The speaker is sworn in as acting governor, and the ultimate objective of that is for the IEBC to conduct a fresh election of governor and deputy governor within 60 days. So the functions which the speaker as acting governor can undertake, which will include the ordinary functions of governor, for example, chairing the county executive committee, signing the warrants so that money can be released from the consolidated, from the county revenue fund. The acting governor can reshuffle members of the county executive committee and other executive functions. But the acting governor can never, and it was never the intention of the Constitution, if you look at it from the drafter's viewpoint, it was never the intention of the Constitution that you act as governor for purpose of holding elections, then you go ahead and make an appointment for the position of governor and acting, for the position of deputy governor, to defeat the very, very same objective upon which you're holding that office. That is what I'm calling an absurdity. So it is not anticipated whatsoever. And this one I have to be crystal clear, that an acting governor can appoint a deputy governor in a manner that the power brokers at Nairobi County are imagining or even thinking to push through. Such an appointment, in accordance with the provisions of Article 3(2) of the Constitution. Article 3(2) of the Constitution says, any attempt to establish a government otherwise than in conformity with the provisions of the Constitution is unlawful. So in my mind as an advocate, there is no doubt whatsoever, that what is happening in terms of any purported appointment of deputy governor by the acting governor to be unlawful. It's extremely unlawful. And a side indictment of the persons who are pushing for that agenda. Because to me, it is clearly that maybe they are reading the Constitution upside down, or maybe their agenda is to simply undermine the Constitution and hoping to get away with it. How can you undermine an instrument whose provisions are very, very clear, that you are going to hold office as acting governor with the sole objective of paving way for IEBC to conduct a by-election within 60 days for the position of deputy governor and governor? So I think that issue is very clear to my mind and very clear to anyone who reads the Constitution the way it is.
Wanyama, and just before I have Martin Olo respond to this, Wanyama, when the retired Chief Justice was leaving office, one of the things he said worried him is a reluctance to respect the rule of law. And there have been numerous cases touching all the way to State House, to cabinet secretaries, to top officials in government not respecting the law, going ahead to do things as they wish for their own political expediency and not truly following the law. So then you have stated very categorically that there's no way that this acting governor would appoint the deputy governor to that position before, relinquishing that seat to going back to being speaker. But what will stop these powers from doing this? It has happened before that they've gone against the Constitution. They have not respected the rule of law. What stops them from doing this?
Yeah, it is very sad. It is indeed very sad that we've reached a point where we are somehow normalizing breach of the Constitution, disobedience of court orders. And it's also very sad that important institutions, such as the Office of Attorney General, which under the provisions of the Constitution, the Attorney General is required to promote the rule of law, advise the the executive accordingly, ensure that everything in government is done in accordance with the Constitution. But unfortunately, you can see that these offices are declining, and that sends a major indictment in our constitutional order. So in terms of a solution to such an intractable problem, the people of Kenya, through the Constitution, have established the High Court, and the High Court is required to ensure that they guide the process by providing the reference points for decision makers so that they don't go beyond the four corners of the Constitution. So we expect a definitive decision of the High Court that will come in to protect the public from this maladministration and failure by leaders in a very express and overt manner to subvert the rule of law in Kenya. Let me just give you an example. It is like a thief coming to your house, stealing your phone, and then outside there the thief is arrested. Then he is told, can you keep the phone until such time as when we will determine whether this phone clearly belongs to the person who is complaining that the phone has been stolen. Yet it is no doubt whatsoever that the person who is complaining owns the phone. So it's a very sad situation. We can't allow that to happen. So we expect the High Court to rise up to the occasion and offer proper reference points to end this stalemate.
Martin Olo, we can all agree that Nairobi has had its fair share of issues for the past few years, and in terms of the governance and how leadership has been conducted in this county. But does the solution lie in bending of rules?
You know, I wish I would have a direct answer to that. But what my brother Peter is saying, and I think people need to be helped to understand, the rule of law and the rule by law are two concepts that are used in this country interchangeably. When you say the rule of law, then what you would be saying is that the law already has outlined what needs to happen once an impeachment is in place, and this direction of travel is towards a by-election. But he's placing too much hope and confidence in the High Court. He is now, I want to remind him that the court is part of the problem. Why? They have adjudged that there is no prima facie case barring the vetting of a county governor. The court has not anticipated what it was about to do could cause yet another legal problem. Had they done so, they should have stopped by saying, look, the vetting can go on, but what happens after this vetting? What is this scenario? If the court had applied itself, we would not be where we are. He's placing a bit of too much confidence in the court that it will be able to help in this court. They have created the problem, they may not be able to resolve it. And therefore, the political day will be carried. Now, back to what you're saying. When we are talking about the rule by law, it's different from the rule of law. Now, the rule by law is that the political players have looked at this law, have discovered the gaps. They have seen what the law has not said or what it has failed to provide for, and they're exploiting it. So, for example, has the law said that when you are acting as a governor, you cannot then appoint? Now, if it hasn't said so explicitly, the political class is saying, why hasn't the law provided for it? And that is going to be a problem that we are going to go into. But that said, we are in a situation where the court has thrust us where we are. If the courts had made a determination that, look, there is a case here, then we would be not now creating the problem. Now that we have created this problem and there's a substantive deputy governor that's been appointed, I highly doubt that the courts will be helpful in helping us get out of this problem.
Right.
And so the political players who have crafted this problem are likely to have their day.
Okay. I'll ask you a very political question. It's become very apparent in the political landscape on who is interested in a by-election in Nairobi and who's not very interested in a by-election in Nairobi, and especially now when there are a lot of issues, a referendum, an upcoming election in 2022. So politically looking at this, and coming in right after Msambweni, and this will be my final question to you. Would we say that the handshake team was a bit not very confident about a by-election in Nairobi and with results that would come with? Martin, can you hear me?
Yeah, there's a bit of a challenge there. I hope I can be heard. Am I able to be heard?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. The experience from Kwale by the so-called hustlers and the Tanga team has sent the rest of the political formation into this kind of disarray. And therefore, coming soon after that by election, Nairobi was coming too fast, and the Tanga team were also too organized already. And it's obvious that the other side, the handshake side, needs time to sort it out, to put its house in order. So any delay on this process is likely to be a good outcome, and therefore forestall that motion or that movement, that momentum that has already been gained from Kwale by the so-called the hustler team. So basically, Nairobi is a very good testing ground. And so if the handshake side can disorganize the hustlers in this manner, then it will be good for them to buy time so that they can put their house in order and organize their machine for other things. So you can see that the BBI side is now busy trying to get to the grassroots, because already the hustlers are already too much on the ground. So there is a real challenge here. And so we are playing into the politics and not even into the law now. Political players must wrestle it out, delay this process in such a manner that the advantages that have already been gained by the hustler nation are watered down a little bit before the other side can also put its act together. So we are into the political play. We are into the 2022 politics, full throttle.
All right, you've heard it there. Nairobi County is all about politics, nothing about the legal issues. But we expect a lot of court cases starting tomorrow. We'll be keeping you up to speed with that. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the closing remarks from Peter Wanyama. We're experiencing some technical hitch, but he's been able to explain to us what is really happening and legally what to expect. Peter Wanyama is a constitutional lawyer. Martin Oloy is a lawyer and political analyst. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm seeing a lot of your questions. This is a conversation we'll be able to pick up even in our other bulletins starting tomorrow. But away from that, the statistics of teenage pregnancies shocked the whole country when they were released. The severity of this problem is hidden in the numbers.